Hello, this is William Davis, and you're very welcome along to this special mini Craggy Rugby podcast. When Bundee Aki was recently selected by the British and Irish Lions, he became only the fourth Connacht player to represent the Lions, following in the footsteps of Ray McLaughlin, who toured New Zealand in 1966 and 1971, Kieran Fitzgerald, who captained the 1983 tour to New Zealand, and John O'Driscoll, who was on that tour and also the first tour by the Lions to Australia in 1989. 38 years is a long time to wait, and the selection of Bundee Aki has caused a huge amount of media comment and much excitement among Connacht fans. Today he spoke to the media and we got to hear his side of his Lions story. Here's what he had to tell myself and my colleague Michael Corcoran in the live section of today's press conference. Give me some sense, how excited are you to be selected for the British and Irish Lions? It's huge news.
Yeah, it is huge, and it's a big honour to be able to see selected in the Lions. Proud to be representing Connacht, as well as my family, as well as Ireland. So won't be taking anything lightly about it. It's obviously, like you said, it's a huge honour, and I definitely take it with both hands anyway.
What are you hoping to bring to the Lions? What's your mindset going into the tour?
I just got to be myself, really. You know what I mean? I can't change anything else. I just got to be who I am and hopefully add value to the team and be able to do what I do in the game and be able to hopefully have some cohesiveness as a group and be able to do what I need to do, whatever the coaches and the team wants me to do. Then I would do that to the best of my ability to make sure that everything's going well and go from there. I could only control what I can control, and it's the way I perform and be able to show how I am at training pitches.
And is this a learning opportunity for you, because you'll be going into an environment with maybe coaches you haven't met before and players who've been opponents are now on the same team?
It is. Like, I think every day is a learning thing for me, regardless of where I am. Even if it's at Connacht or in Ireland, I'm learning every single day. I'm going to be together with some unbelievable world-class players who are going to be on the same team. Like you said, we've played opposite, and I'm going to be learning loads of them. Like guys who've been there, who've been in the Lions tour before, who know what it's like, and obviously I'll be asking a lot of questions and stuff like that, and be able to be myself and be able to add value to what I think I can add.
And how exciting is it to take your partnership with Robbie Henshaw? It started at Connacht, it went into, it's obviously at Ireland. Now you're taking it to the Lions, potential to play together. Is that something that resonates with you?
It's always good to have a guy that you've known for a very long time, to be able to be there. Robbie's a world-class player at the moment. He's playing unbelievable rugby, and to be able to know that he's been around the Lions tour before and he knows what it's like, and I'll be able to just feed off him and be able to learn just as much as I do with him in Ireland Cup.
Watching you play together, there seems to be an understanding that's almost telepathic. It's almost like you know what he's going to do and he knows what you're going to do. Do you get that feeling when you're on the pitch?
Yeah, I think that's the good thing about it. Like, even playing alongside all of our other midfielders in Ireland, they make a big emphasis of being able to have the cohesiveness as a group and as a team. And the good thing about playing alongside some of these players is that we know each other inside out so much that, we can go, as much as we know their family. Like, I know Robbie's family very well, and the things that we talk about, it's not just always about rugby. We can do things off the pitch, which is, going out on Robbie's boat and just doing that, or playing a bit of music together, chilling together, having a coffee, just having a normal chit chat like anyone else would. You got to take time when you're with your partnerships or your friends, that you got to take time off rugby and just be able to just hang out as friends and be able to know each other a bit more than rugby. Because at the end of the day, when you put on a shirt together as a group and you know somebody that well in a team, you can trust him, you know, going into the game. Whatever he does, you can trust him. You know each other so well that when something happens, you know what he's going to do, and it's just an instinct and a reaction to it. So it's good to have.
And just looking at your role with Connacht as a senior player now, do you see part of that as to keep an eye out for younger players and just advise them and, you know, help them along in their decision-making process, maybe in training and stuff like that? Because you've got a bank of experience now at levels that maybe they haven't got to yet.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the good thing about being here at the provinces. Like, obviously, I learn from the young fellas as well. They have certain attributes in the game that I certainly sometimes don't see as a senior person, and sometimes the same thing with me. I see things that they might not know, and it's just a evolving thing about being a senior player and a guy hanging around with the younger guys, that you actually learn from each other, you talk to each other. And I would like to think, in my opinion, with the group here in Connacht, is that I'm an approachable person to be able to be approached whenever they want to ask questions. You know, I'm not the kind of person where they come and ask and I'm not, you know, just pushing them away. You know, I like to think that I am that kind of person to be able to help and be able to grow their game, because at the end of the day, that's just rugby. When you get to a stage in your career where, you know, when guys are coming through, they're pushing through, you want to help those young fellas, because when you leave and be able to leave Connacht, those young fellas have the amount of experience that you've been able to share with them, and they can pass that on as well when they get to the stages where I am, and be able to pass their experience on to the younger guys coming through. And hopefully that's what happens here in Connacht, you know what I mean?
And the final one from me, and I'm just bringing it back to a more personal thing for you. How excited were your family here and your family at home, just with this pinnacle situation? You know, you've gone further up the pyramid now. How do they react? Because they're often left out of, you know, they're not on the field performing.
Yes, it was so after the team was announced, obviously I couldn't watch it. I had to leave the changing room where the boys were watching the announcement. I had to leave it because I was getting too nervous, and I couldn't watch it. So I walked out on the pitch, watching the academies train, and heard the uproar come through, and the lads came out running. And obviously, I was pinching myself, and I didn't know. I was just feeling real jittery for no reason, which is, it's a huge honour. And obviously, I called my wife, shed a few tears on the phone. Went home and shed a few more tears, just for the fact that what we've done as a family, or sacrifice we've done as a family to be able to get to where we are at the moment. And then called my mum and my dad, and same thing, you know what I mean? They couldn't be more happy and more proud of what I've achieved since I've left New Zealand. And they are obviously very, very supportive, and they're definitely looking forward to it.
Can you just talk about, you know, when you got together as a group with the Lions for the first time in London for the one-day get-together there recently? I mean, you're talking about the excitement of being named in the squad. Was there a real sense of like positive energy when you were together with all of the other people who are now going to be fellow Lions when you got to South Africa in a couple of weeks' time?
Yeah, it was obviously, like, I think some of the lads who've been there, they know most of those lads before, and obviously it was my first time. Like, I've only played against most of those guys, so it was obviously a bit nervous for me going in. It's like it's your first day at school, you know, trying to introduce yourself to a lot of people. But it was good, like, you know what I mean? Like, it felt like everyone was real friendly. Everyone was out there saying hello, cracking a few jokes, and like it was just the one day that we were together, well, a day and a night that we're together. But like, you know, we could feel the vibe that was building together as a group, and it was something really cool about it. And you know, I was still getting nerves on that day, just like nervous walking around, but it's good nerves, you know what I mean? It's something that you like to feel when you're going into new places. And yeah, look, it was cool. It was exciting.
Now, you've touched just a little bit there on the whole, you know, the sacrifices that you've made as an individual, that your family has had to make as well too. You know, leaving New Zealand, coming to Galway, playing with Connacht. I mean, I know you more than anybody else would be just so grateful for the support that you have had from even within the Connacht family, welcome you into their arms and everything that everybody has done, right from the very top of the organization down to the young fellows who are in the academy right now to help you become a Lion. It's like a shared joy, if you understand what I mean.
Yes, exactly it. You know, like I wouldn't have been where I am now if it wasn't for, like you said, the help of the community when I first arrived. You know, they made me feel like I was at home. Then the support that we've had from the day we arrived here in Galway, the organisation here in Connacht, they've been so good to me till this day. And like you said, I'm so grateful for having this kind of support here in Galway. I know the community's been so good. You know, like a lot of people have been sending me stuff here and there, and it's overwhelming to be able to have that effect on this community, small community, and it just shows how tight Galway is and how good Galway is. As you know, Connacht won't be as not as exposed as much as, you know, like the other top provinces, but it just shows that, you know, as a tight group, that anyone can still do it, and, you know, anyone can get to where they want to be. And I'm just so grateful, like you said, just so grateful for the support and what we had so far.